I'm here outside of the Scotiabank Arena where the Leafs will be hosting Buffalo tonight. But it was an announcement off Toronto ice this afternoon, which can have the most significant impact on former and current NHL players who have to deal with the aftermath of having a concussion. The executive director of the NHL Alumni Association says that players often have to turn to opioids and other forms of treatment when having to deal with concussions. But what they're hoping to do is find a more natural remedy, such as the use of cannabinoids, the part of the marijuana plant which doesn't get you high. So today, the NHL Alumni Association announced that they're partnering up with Cannabis Growth to take a look at the relation between the use of cannabinoids and concussions. Players who are dealing with concussions and that sort of thing, or PTSD or depression, what have they been relying on in the past if it hasn't been cannabis?
Well, I think because the syndrome of post-concussion syndrome of traumatic brain injury is so complex, symptoms like headache, nausea, fatigue, drowsiness, they end up either self-medicating with substances like alcohol or other drugs, or they turn to prescription medications. And it's not clear exactly which of these have the most effect, which of them have side effects. But clearly, these medications and treatment options aren't working. The problem continues, so we need new options.
Researchers estimate that between 1.6 and 3.8 million athletes suffer from sports-related concussions each year. 10 to 15% of these athletes will go on to develop chronic post-concussion systems that can affect their ability to function, according to the NHL Alumni Association and Cannabis Growth. The chief medical officer of Cannabis Growth Medication says he's been studying cannabis use for 20 years. This study will look at trying to find the right dose and duration for use. Glenn Healy, the executive director of the NHL Alumni Association, who played in the NHL for 16 years, says he's looking forward to see what science will prove.
Typically, you don't get the call from the player, you get the call from the wife, and she'll let you know that something's up, or you get the call from the kids that say, I want dad back, something's wrong with dad, I don't know what it is, but he's not the same as he was. And so those are hard calls to take. That's the worst part of my job, and it's a part of my job that I've got to deal with. Up until today, I had no hope and help for players. I had nowhere for them to turn. But we will, through science, find something.
The study is expected to begin this summer and is expected to last one whole year. And the NHL Alumni Association Executive Director hopes that it helps professional athletes in all sports, not just hockey, and also those who play in recreational sports.